Chapter 1. From England to Tahiti. The sun cast a golden hue upon the bustling port of Portsmouth as the Renegade prepared to set sail. The ship stood tall and majestic, its sails billowing in the wind. On board, a diverse group of sailors gathered, each with their own dreams and aspirations. Among them was Captain Edward Harrington, a man known for his disdain for authority and his unwavering belief in freedom. He had assembled a crew of misfits and outcasts, individuals who, like him, sought to break free from the constraints of society and embark on a grand adventure. As the Renegade departed from the shores of England, excitement and anticipation filled the air. The crew, with their eyes set on Tahiti, a far-flung paradise, were prepared to face the unknown and explore uncharted territories. The journey was not without its challenges. The ship encountered fierce storms that tested the mettle of the crew and threatened to tear the Renegade apart. But Captain Harrington's leadership and unwavering determination inspired his sailors to weather the tempests and push forward. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months, as the Renegade sailed across vast oceans, navigating through treacherous waters and battling rival ships. The crew faced both the forces of nature and the threats of those who sought to impede their progress. Yet, despite the hardships, a sense of camaraderie and unity grew among the sailors. They found solace in each other's company, forging friendships and bonds that would withstand the trials of the journey. Amidst the endless expanse of the open sea, tales were shared, laughter filled the air, and dreams of a better life in Tahiti fueled their spirits. Captain Harrington's charisma and unwavering belief in their shared quest inspired his crew to persevere, even in the face of adversity. As the Renegade sailed ever closer to their destination, a sense of anticipation and excitement permeated the ship. The sailors could almost taste the salt in the air and feel the warm breeze of the tropical paradise they sought. And so, with hearts filled with hope and a burning desire for freedom, the crew of the HMS Renegade continued their arduous voyage. They were united by a common purpose and a shared belief that, in defying the norms and sailing against the tide, they would find their own path to happiness and fulfillment. Chapter 2. Mutiny. As the Renegade sailed deeper into the uncharted waters, tensions within the crew began to rise. The hardships of the journey, coupled with the clashes between Captain Edward Harrington and his superiors, created a breeding ground for discontentment. Whispers of mutiny circulated among the crew, fueled by a desire for autonomy and a perceived lack of respect from their captain. A group of sailors, led by the embittered first mate, Robert Turner, began to plot a rebellion, determined to seize control of the Renegade and forge their own path. In the dead of night, in the dimly lit corners of the ship, secret meetings were held. The mutineers rallied their numbers, seeking support from those disenchanted with Captain Harrington's leadership. The air grew heavy with tension, and trust became a scarce commodity among the crew. Unbeknownst to the mutineers, however, there were loyal sailors who remained steadfast in their loyalty to Captain Harrington. These individuals, devoted to the ideals of freedom and adventure, were determined to protect their captain and the mission they had set out to accomplish. As the plot thickened, whispers reached the ears of those loyal to Captain Harrington. Word of the mutiny spread like wildfire, setting the stage for a dangerous confrontation between those seeking rebellion and those seeking to uphold the chain of command. Aware of the growing unrest, Captain Harrington confronted the mutineers, his eyes ablaze with defiance. He stood tall, his unwavering determination cutting through the tension-filled air. With resolute conviction, he reminded his crew of the purpose that had brought them together, urging them to remember the dreams that fueled their initial voyage. In a dramatic showdown on the deck of the Renegade, loyalty clashed with betrayal. Swords were drawn, and the fate of the ship and its crew hung in the balance. The sound of steel against steel against steel filled the air as the mutineers fought fiercely, driven by their desire for power and control. But the loyal sailors, inspired by Captain Harrington's unwavering spirit and their shared belief in freedom, rallied against the mutineers. A fierce battle ensued, with each side vying for dominance over the ship that had become their home. In the midst of the chaos, friendships were tested, and allegiances wavered. Betrayals were met with swift retribution, and the deck of the Renegade became a battlefield of conflicting desires and loyalties. Yet, against all odds, Captain Harrington and his loyal crew emerged victorious. The mutiny was quelled, and those who had sought to disrupt their quest for freedom were brought to justice. With the mutiny suppressed, a newfound sense of unity and purpose pervaded the Renegade. The crew, now more determined than ever, set their sights on the horizon once again, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. As the ship sailed forward, leaving behind the echoes of the mutiny, Captain Harrington and his loyal sailors remained resolute in their mission. United by a shared vision of adventure and freedom, they were prepared to face whatever lay in wait on their journey to Tahiti. Chapter 3. In the launch. Following the successful suppression of the mutiny, Captain Edward Harrington and a handful of loyal sailors found themselves in a dire situation. The Renegade crew had commandeered a small launch and were left adrift amidst the vast expanse of the open ocean. Isolated and vulnerable, the sailors faced the harsh realities of survival. The scorching sun beat down upon them mercilessly, and the salt water offered no relief to their parched throats. Hunger gnawed at their bellies, and despair threatened to consume their spirits. With resourcefulness and sheer determination, Captain Harrington and his crew faced the perils of the open sea. They fashioned makeshift sails from whatever materials they could gather, utilizing the limited provisions available to them. Guided by the stars and their knowledge of navigation, they charted a course in search of land, clinging to the hope of finding refuge. Days turned into weeks, and the vastness of the ocean seemed endless. The crew battled exhaustion and despair, their bodies weakened by the harsh conditions. But through their unwavering spirit and indomitable will, they pressed on, refusing to succumb to the hardships they encountered. Finally, on the horizon, a speck of land emerged. A wave of relief washed over the sailors as they spotted a deserted island, a glimmer of hope amidst the vast emptiness of the sea. With renewed determination, they steer their small launch toward the unknown shore. As the launch touched the sandy beach, Captain Harrington and his crew stepped onto solid ground, their feet sinking into the warm sand. Exhausted but filled with a sense of accomplishment, they looked around at their newfound sanctuary, a deserted island teeming with life and possibility. Driven by their resourcefulness and survival instincts, the sailors set about establishing a temporary camp. They gathered food from the bountiful surroundings, catching fish in the crystal, clear waters, and foraging for fruits and edible plants in the lush vegetation. Days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months. Captain Harrington and his loyal crew transformed the deserted island into a thriving community. They built shelters, utilizing the natural resources available to them, and worked together to create a sustainable life in their newfound home. The sailors learned to adapt to their surroundings, honing their skills as hunters and gatherers. They explored the island, discovering hidden caves, fresh water sources, and the diverse wildlife that called the island home. They marveled at the beauty of nature surrounding them, finding solace and peace in the simplicity of their existence. In this isolated paradise, the Renegade crew forged bonds that surpassed the confines of their previous lives. They supported one another, finding strength in their shared experiences and the common goal of survival. The island became a sanctuary, a place where they could rediscover their sense of purpose and identity. Amidst the tranquility of the island, Captain Harrington and his crew found a respite from the troubles and conflicts that had plagued them before. They reveled in the freedom they had sought, embracing the untamed beauty of the natural world and cherishing the simple joys that came with their newfound existence. However, unbeknownst to Captain Harrington and his loyal sailors, their respite on the deserted island would not last forever. The world beyond their paradise was in motion, and their story was far from over. Chapter 4. The Pandora. Unbeknownst to Captain Edward Harrington and his loyal sailors, Their mutiny aboard the Renegade had not gone unnoticed. News of the rebellion had reached the ears of the British Navy, and they were determined to bring the Renegade crew to justice. The Admiralty dispatched a formidable warship, the Pandora, to hunt down the rebellious sailors. The Pandora was a symbol of the Navy's power and authority, a vessel equipped with the latest weaponry and manned by a highly disciplined crew. Under the command of Captain Charles Thompson, the Pandora set sail, its sights firmly set on tracking down Captain Harrington and his Renegade crew. The pursuit was relentless, as the Pandora spared no expense in its mission to capture the mutineers and restore order to the seas. Across the vast expanse of the ocean, the Pandora closed in on the deserted island where Captain Harrington and his crew had found refuge. The tension among the Renegade sailors grew palpable as they became aware of the approaching danger. Whispers of the Pandora's arrival spread through their makeshift community, instilling a sense of fear and uncertainty. Captain Harrington, with his unwavering resolve, understood the imminent threat they faced. He gathered his loyal sailors, preparing them for the battle that lay ahead. As the Pandora loomed on the horizon, the Renegade crew made their final preparations. They fortified their defenses, utilizing the natural landscape of the island to their advantage. Captain Harrington's knowledge of naval tactics and his ingenuity became their greatest assets as they readied themselves for the impending clash. The clash between the Pandora and the Renegade sailors was inevitable. The Pandora unleashed its full might upon the island, cannons booming and gunfire tearing through the air. Explosions rocked the tropical landscape as the two forces engaged in a ferocious battle for dominance. Amidst the chaos and destruction, lives were lost on both sides. Loyalties were tested as some sailors wavered in their commitment to the cause. Captain Harrington, with his unwavering resolve, fought alongside his loyal crew, inspiring them to push beyond their limits. The Renegade sailors, though outnumbered and outgunned, exhibited a fierce determination and an indomitable spirit. They utilized the island's natural defenses to their advantage, launching surprise attacks and employing guerrilla tactics to keep the Pandora at bay. The battle raged on, its intensity matched only by the relentless determination of both sides. The tropical air was filled with smoke, and the once idyllic island was transformed into a battleground of chaos and destruction. In a pivotal moment, Captain Harrington devised a daring plan, capitalizing on the element of surprise and the resilience of his crew. Utilizing their knowledge of the island's treacherous terrain, they executed a series of maneuvers that turned the tide of the battle in their favor. The Renegade sailors, driven by their unwavering spirit and their refusal to submit to authority, emerged victorious. The Pandora, once a symbol of the Navy's power, now lay in ruins. A testament to the determination and resourcefulness of those who dared to challenge the status quo. As the smoke cleared and the echoes of battle faded, the Renegade sailors stood among the wreckage, their victory hard won. The island, scarred but still beautiful, served as a testament to the resilience of Captain Harrington and his crew. However, the battle had taken its toll. Lives had been lost and wounds, both physical and emotional, ran deep. Captain Harrington, ever the leader, rallied his crew, tending to the injured and honoring the fallen. They knew that their fight for freedom and adventure was far from over. Chapter 5. Death, Life, and Thursday. In the aftermath of the battle with the HMS Pandora, the Renegade sailors found themselves grappling with the consequences of their victory. The island, once their refuge and sanctuary, now bore the scars of the fierce clash between the opposing forces. Amidst the wreckage and sorrow, the sailors mourned the lives lost in the battle. They held solemn ceremonies to honor their fallen comrades, paying tribute to their bravery and sacrifice. It was a poignant reminder of the high price they had paid in their pursuit of freedom. As the days passed, the sailors focused on healing and rebuilding. They repaired their makeshift shelters and tended to the wounded, their resilience shining through in the face of adversity. Captain Edward Harrington, ever the leader, provided guidance and strength to his crew, reminding them of the importance of unity and perseverance. In the midst of this somber period, life found a way to flourish. Nature, resilient as ever, began to reclaim the scarred landscape. Flowers bloomed, birds returned, and the island slowly regained its vibrancy. It served as a poignant reminder that even amidst destruction, life continued to thrive. The renegade sailors, emboldened by the island's resilience, rediscovered their own sense of purpose and determination. They embraced the opportunity for renewal, using their resourcefulness and skills to transform the island into a thriving community once again. Working together, they rebuilt their shelters. Utilizing salvaged materials and their ingenuity, they developed sustainable systems for gathering food, establishing gardens and fishing techniques that harmonized with the natural environment. The island became a place of resilience and adaptability, reflecting the spirit of the renegade sailors who had refused to be broken. Amongst the camaraderie and resilience, a sailor named Thursday stood out. Thursday, known for his unwavering loyalty and quiet strength, had been a pillar of support throughout their journey. He had stood by Captain Harrington's side through thick and thin, earning the respect and admiration of his comrades. Thursday's wisdom and calm demeanor had a soothing effect on the crew. He offered guidance and counsel, bringing a sense of stability to their lives. His presence became a symbol of hope and unity as he worked tirelessly to bridge the gaps and heal the wounds caused by the trials they had faced. In the midst of rebuilding, the renegade sailors found solace in the island's natural beauty. They explored its hidden corners, discovering secret waterfalls and serene beaches. They marveled at the diversity of wildlife that called the island home. Finding wonder and awe in the intricate balance of nature, the island became their haven, a place where they could heal and redefine their purpose. It offered them a chance to live a life free from the constraints of authority, where they could truly be themselves. The renegade sailors embraced their newfound freedom, cherishing every moment and savoring the simple joys that life had to offer. As the island thrived, so did the spirits of Captain Harrington and his crew. The scars of their past began to fade, replaced by a newfound resilience and hope. They had come a long way from the tumultuous voyage that had set them on this path, and they were determined to make the most of the life they had carved for themselves. Together, they forged a bond that surpassed the boundaries of a crew. They were a family, a group of individuals united by their shared experiences, their indomitable spirit, and the unwavering pursuit of freedom. Epilogue. Legends of the Aurora. The tale of the renegade sailors and their epic journey aboard the MS Aurora had far-reaching effects, leaving an indelible mark on the annals of maritime history. Their story of courage, defiance, and the pursuit of freedom echoed through the ages, inspiring generations to come. News of their triumph against the MS Pandora spread like wildfire across the seas, carried by the winds and whispered in ports and taverns. The name of Captain James Mallory, Amelia Hastings, and their crew became synonymous with bravery and adventure. Their exploits became the stuff of legends, recounted in tales and songs sung by sailors and storytellers alike. The legend of the Aurora grew with each retelling, captivating the imaginations of those who longed for a life beyond the confines of societal norms and expectations. Captain Mallory, hailed as a hero and a symbol of rebellion, inspired countless others to challenge the authority that sought to confine them. His unwavering belief in the power of freedom and the pursuit of dreams resonated deeply with those who yearned for a life less ordinary. Amelia Hastings, a trailblazer in her own right, became an icon for women who sought to break free from the constraints of gender roles and expectations. Her daring spirit and unwavering determination inspired a generation of women to forge their own paths and follow their dreams, no matter the obstacles they faced. The crew of the Aurora, their stories intertwined with Captain Mallory and Amelia, became folk heroes in their own right. Each sailor was celebrated for their unique contributions to the journey, their names forever etched in the collective memory of those who valued the spirit of adventure and the pursuit of freedom. The legacy of the Aurora lived on, not only in the tales told by sailors, but also in the hearts and minds of those who dared to dream. The story of the renegade sailors became a symbol of hope, reminding all who heard it that the greatest adventures in life often lay just beyond the horizon, waiting for those brave enough to seek them. The HMS Aurora, once a vessel that sailed the seas, transformed into a symbol of defiance and the relentless pursuit of freedom. Its name became synonymous with the spirit of adventure, forever etched in the annals of maritime history. And so, the legends of the Aurora and its rebellious sailors endured, passing from one generation to the next. Their stories served as a beacon of inspiration, reminding all who heard them that sometimes the greatest journeys are not measured in nautical miles, but in the courage to chart a course of one's own making.